It's a nice view you got there.
Yep, real nice. It cost
Do
me a dojo though.
you live in Trinidad or Tobago?
Trinidad, in Trinidad. Yep, but we never leave them out. It's always Trinidad and Tobago.
So Ronaldo, you're our programmer, our senior program for TACFIT, and you created the famous TACFIT Timer in 2011. So
Correct.
people have been tens of thousands of people have been using, probably hundreds of thousands at this point, right? Hundreds of thousands of people have used your TACFIT Timer. I've been using it almost every single day the last 5 years. So anybody that does TACFIT, right? They maybe they've never heard you speak, right? But you've always been there. The first time we got introduced, there was a update, right, on Apple or something, and
Correct.
And everybody went crazy because the TACFIT timer didn't work.
Correct. They just swapped over to iOS 13, and the night mode just killed everything. So we had to like emergency fix that. I think Ryan gave me a call. He's like, TACFIT Timer isn't working. I was like, what? I was like,
Yeah, that was my introduction to you. How did that happen? How did that the whole TACFIT timer? Because I was looking at you, sent me a nice resume, so I was like, oh, you went to went to school, and then I don't know if it was your first project, but it seems like it was pretty much after school, right, that you started to work on the TACFIT timer.
It was my first iOS project. Yes, I actually after meeting Scott and we talked. I was doing TACFIT, so I got certified, and then I was doing TACFIT, and I was like, oh man, these other timers, they just don't work. It's so much work to put it together, So I was like, you know what? I like programming. Let me learn iOS programming. I just bought a Mac, and that was the end. That was the end of it there. Just learn the language, program it out, send it out, and people loved it. And I was like, well, all right then.
Yeah, we love it for sure. How did the sounds happen? How did the colors happen? I mean, it's like so high level,
Yeah, well, that's actually all Scott. So yeah. Scott and I proposed the idea to him. I told him, hey, let's make a timer, and he was like, yeah, cool, no problem. And I was like, great. So then we started talking, and he told me exactly how to do the sound. So all of that intelligence in it, it's not me. It's all Scott Sonnen. So up to the timer counting up, then counting back down psychologically, it just makes doing TACFIT so easy. You don't even have to look at the timer. You just listen to the sounds, and you know exactly what you need to do, when you need to do it. You have your automatic heart rate. You can count it in because of the beeps after 30 seconds. I should really do a full manual on that. I should, so that everyone captures it.
I mean, it's just so high level. It's crazy, like it's just like everything about it. The counting, it just becomes like you don't need to see the timer even. It's so intuitive, right?
Correct.
It's just and that you become kind of becomes a part of you, right? Like once you start to train with it for a while. So when people didn't have that timer, like everybody's like freaking out, right? Because you're used to having it, right, as part of your training. And you can't
Correct.
Really,
the internet blew up. It blew up. It was like, TACFIT timer is not working. I was like, what? All of a sudden, then I was like, I don't know where Ryan, I think probably found me on Facebook, because I talk with a lot of people, and there's a feedback form in the timer as well. So a lot of people contact me through there. I think Ryan did contact me through there first one time, and then we started to talk, and then he just gave me a call and said, hey, Ronaldo, the timer's not working. We need to fix it. I was like, oh yeah. And even when we removed we had the stats inside before. And when when Apple actually moved from using C to programming in Swift, their new language, well, back then it was their new language, we had to move quickly. And I put out a request, and no one said to keep the reports in. And then as soon as you take it off, then people are like, yo, where's the reports? So we have some cool things coming up.
Yeah, we had we started working together, right, when we were gonna have like a certain app, a TACFIT app, and when it came down to it, we all realized how important the timer is, you know, to the whole experience, the TACFIT experience, right? They're like, oh, we'll do a timer, you know, but no, you lost the essence of TACFIT if you don't have that with you. So it was like you know, you learn, right? You don't know until you don't use it, but it's not the same, right? It's not the same.
Yeah, it just becomes a part of the training. It's just there in the background, just quietly doing its thing, and you focus because you focused on your workout, right? You
Yeah,
know, we want to make sure we do all the reps right, get our RPT above 8, and keeping all these things in mind when we're working out so that we benefit.
yeah,
And the time is just in the background,
yeah, yeah.
kind of like how I am normally. But now I have I have a big spotlight on me now. So,
You know, like then you know, I start to learn about you. Like you're a martial artist, you're a sensei, a judo sensei. You know, like that's your background. That's your, you know,
that's my
that's your
love.
yeah. So, could you tell me about how you started in martial arts and how you
Yeah, sure.
became?
My dad, he was an avid Bruce Lee guy. He did Shotokan karate and stuff. But this one time he went into a judo gym, you know, because he liked to learn all martial arts. So he went into a judo gym, but the sensei couldn't throw him because of his stances and so on. But he knew that there was something in judo. So what he did with me when I was 5 going on 6, he started me into judo first, and then a year after he started me into karate. So that's where I got the love from him. I was always like the tiny one in the class. So I think that's why I got to such a high level because I always had to fight people stronger and bigger than me. So it was pretty good, pretty good.
Did you say you started when you were 5?
Yep.
5.
Well, 5, 6,
Mm-hmm.
somewhere around there. I think he asked the Sensei Richard Burnett, my first sensei. He asked him to join me when I was 5 years old, and I think I eventually got into the class at 6.
Mm.
You know, so that was fun. I loved it, man. It was like close to my house, and
Yeah.
I just would ride to class and ride back home. Okay, you know, the old time with the gi and the belt, wrap up, and you just strap it around your
Yeah.
shoulder. Yeah,
The good old days.
yeah.
Yeah. Where did and you started competing obviously in judo.
Correct, correct. I represented the national team for a number of years. Um, we started off with small tournaments, like in Barbados. We had like international Caribbean tournaments that we always support each other. So we would go to Barbados. Barbados would come to us, and I mean, for a long time, Trinidad was leading, and Barbados they upped their game and they gave us pressure, and we always keep trying to get each other better. So that was awesome. My best performance or the best moment I ever had in judo was actually being thrown by a champion in a tournament. You know, that time when time slows down, you get in the throw, you see it, and it's like, oh, this feels so good. And then you hit the floor, and it's like, oh yeah, so that's judo. That's judo. No, it's just running through my veins now.
Who was that? Who was that against? What tournament was that?
That was junior CAC games. That was in think that was in Colombia. The guy was Colombian. I think it was in Colombia. Was it in Colombia? No, no, no. I'm not sure. It was a Spanish-speaking country. Everyone was speaking Spanish. Oh, was it Santo Domingo? It was Santo Domingo. It was Santo Domingo. Yeah, but that throw was awesome. And then there's one guy, Trevor Haynes. Now he is like a veteran judoka, right? Like down here, he's probably like in his 50s doing judo and still competing, right? And we were in national tournament once, and we ended up in the finals, and we were fighting. I was ahead, we're just having some fun, and just like in the last 2 seconds, he was like, you know what? I just gonna throw. Just do it. He just went all in. And that was the second time slowed down. I was like, oh, this is awesome. I was so happy. You lose, but you're so happy because the experience, you get that throw, and yeah, it's just amazing when time slows down and you feel good and it's a celebration. I mean, that's what we do. In judo, I think we fight hard on the mat. We give it all on the mat. if you get hurt, more than likely it's your fault because you didn't tap or something. And no one, I mean, even BJJ, no one goes out there to hurt each other, you know? It's just you bring your best, I bring my best. We put it all out on the mat. And when we're done, if we get hurt, we're on your hand in a sling and we drinking, eating dinner, you know, having fun together. It's all in the game, you know?
Yeah, like Scott in his TED Talk, right? He talks about when he got thrown when he was in Russia, right?
Yeah.
So, like you talk about you getting thrown was a highlight, you know, your highlight, and like you're learning, right, while you're flying through the air in slow motion.
Correct.
Do you remember the term he used in the TED Talk?
No.
But you know, just
was
the
it
fact
flow
that,
state? Like in flow or something?
yeah, it was another Taiki. I forgot the name of it, but to watch it again. But yeah, just learning, right? You're learning when the thing is happening to you, right? When you're getting thrown.
Yeah, everything just lights up in your brain. You just feel everything. You snap so many frames in just that little second that you're getting thrown there, you know?
Yeah, yeah. When did you compete until? How old are you when you last competed?
That's a difficult question because first I stopped competing maybe in, I think it was like 2007 or 2006. I didn't have a dojo to train in, so I was actually training in the grass. You know, my friend, he would come back, and that's where I got exposed to BJJ. And incidentally, that's how I got introduced to Scott. So he would come back from Venezuela because he works in the oil, Rondell Benjamin. So he would come back. We would train for 2 weeks. We have 2 weeks whenever he comes back before he goes away. For that 2 weeks, man, we on the grass. It's just like 8-hour training sessions.
What was his name?
Rondell Benjamin.
Okay. And
he's in charge of actually the BJJ in Trinidad right now. He's under Pedro Saura.
Pedro Saura, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And so I interrupted you, but you competed until you're
Oh,
saying...
right. So that was about 2007. And I was planning to make a comeback for the 2020 Olympics, right? And one of my students, well, I started teaching 2 guys from the national hockey team. And they are competitors, straight on competitors. So when they heard there's tournament, they were like, we want to go. Normally, I don't let people be below green compete because it might be a little too dangerous for them. But they committed, and we spent like a month training. And I was like, you know what? I'll go with y'all. We'll go together. I ended up winning nationals. That was in 2016 or something of the sort.
2016, you said?
2016, I took like a 10-year hiatus, right?
Yeah.
Where I was just teaching judo. You know, after I came back from Germany, I started teaching judo. And from then, I just never went back to compete, you know? And I was planning to come back, started doing my TACFIT, of course, you know, make sure that I'm healthy first. But they said, let's go. And I was like, all right, fine, let's go. So I ended up winning nationals. So when you win nationals down here, once you place in the top 4, you're automatically on a national team. So I was like, well, I might as well just start my training one time, you know? So I started training with the national team, and the following year, I believe it's 2017, they had the first Carifta Games in the Caribbean. And that's where I competed. They didn't have enough people in my category. So they joined the category higher than me, which incidentally, I had one of the guys from here, like best guy from here who I helped teach. We had to fight in the finals. Oh man, that was awesome. I mean, I got my shoulder, I got my collarbone a little dislocated.
Oh my God.
Because I escaped, you know, but that was all on me. I felt the throw. It was really far out, you know. So I was like, okay, this is not gonna work. But finally, that was the day he did what I always tell him. It's like, follow through. When you're throwing, you must go all the way. So I was like, okay, it's on my wrist, no problem. Then it started creeping up. I was like, oh, he's going. And then I started to, I was like, oh, it's time to escape, you know? So I escaped a bit late. We ended up like facing each other, and then he threw and straight into my collarbone.
Wow.
But the old bones, yeah. But that was good. We ended up probably fighting for like a minute and a half after that. There was like no use of that anymore. But it was a fight.
Awesome, man. You know, you went against a student, right? That's amazing.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I wouldn't call him completely my student because he's actually the national coach's student.
Takes a village, right? Takes a village, right?
Correct.
Judo for sure.
Correct, and we're in a small country.
Somebody like a younger guy, like that's cool.
Yeah.
So what has judo, like you've been training judo and martial arts since you were 5 years old, 6 years old, right?
Yeah, since 1986.
What are some of the lessons that you've carried over into your life?
The two principles, the two guiding principles of judo. I live my life by it. It gets me in trouble sometimes, but I live my life by it. So it's Seiyoko Zenyo, which is make maximum use of physical and mental energy, and Jita Kyoe, which is mutual benefit and prosperity. So those are the two guiding principles that I teach and I live by. So we do something. I'm competing against you in a tournament. At the end of the tournament, I need to tell you if I won, why I won. Because at the end of the day, in this small country, if I don't get you better than me, then I'm gonna reach a ceiling where I can't get better. And it's been that way. If you look at my judo career, you'd see me on top, and then you'd see someone rise, and then I'd fight my way back up, and then you see someone else rise, and that's how my entire judo career was. And I mean, that's how we should do it. I mean, at the end of the day, we want to be our best self. And to be our best self, if there's no one there, coaching us, helping us, then we are in charge of our improvement. And the only way to help yourself is to help others. Once you help others get better, they're going to help you. They're going to be your training partner, and mutual benefit and prosperity. When we fight and we train, we train to help each other. I give my best not to beat you, but I give my best so that you can grow. If we fight now a lower rank, you dial it down to their level to make it just challenging enough so that they get a chance. But it's challenging, it's hard, and they know it. And you fight someone your same rank, the rule is you give all, they give all, and that's how you get better. So that's the two most important things that I've learned from judo, and that's carried over in my life.
Yeah. So that's it, right? That's it. That's those two things, right? Yeah.
Correct. Simple, but everything is contained therein. All of my values, everything.
So you stopped. You took a 10-year hiatus, and then how did you get into computers?
That's a wonderful story. So my mom, right? She's been asking my dad when computers came out and stuff and were accessible down here. She was like, "You need to get your son a computer. You need to get your son a computer." And he was like, computer, whatever. He's old school, right? Let him do his martial arts. He enjoys that, Computer, you sit down and you're on the screen and you're not doing nothing. And he's all about active. And then one day, one of his friends says, one of his work colleagues in a big meeting is like, you should get him a computer, That's the new thing today. Man, by the end of that month, I think I had a computer. The whole house will had a computer. And they just dropped it there and they were like, yeah, you figure that out and teach us when you're ready. So that's how I started. It was just dropped on my lap and I was like, awesome, cool. And then I was introduced to programming in Holy Cross College. That's where I started. And they had a game, it was like Gorillas or something. It was called back in the day. It was on one of those monochrome screens. It was green and black. And you just had to put in the numbers of the angle to shoot and how hard you wanted to shoot to try and hit the other person on the other side. And I just thought that was cool. And then we started programming and I was like, I could change wind speed just by changing this number in the code. It's like, oh, this is awesome. It gives you some creation, you get to do something and see something happen.
And how did you end up in Germany? Because you lived in Germany, right?
Yeah, I was in Germany on a diploma course for 6 months. So I got a scholarship. So the University of Leipzig, they hold a diploma course for sports. It's a sporting university. And every 6 months, they do these courses, international trainer courses, they're called. and they have a specialized in different sports. So when it came to judo, they told the German embassy in Trinidad. The Trinidad Judo to German embassy told the Judo Association back then, and they called me and they were like, "Hey, Ronaldo." Oh well, Robbie is my like judo name, right? So it's my home name because my
I
father's
saw
name
that
is
on your
Ronaldo.
website. You know, everybody calls you Ronaldo, but that is like Robbie.
Yeah, yeah. That's my home name because my father's name is Reinaldo Novoa as well, you know. And I was actually supposed to be named Roberto Antonio, right? After Roberto Duran, because my father was really into boxing and stuff. And he was like, I think while going to give my name, he met this old guy, and the old guy said, you should name your son after yourself, you know? And then all of a sudden, my name was Ronaldo Nova Jr. You know, so Robbie is my judo name. So they called me Robbie back then, and they said, hey, we have an opportunity, so apply to the university and see if you get through. So I applied. I think two of us applied from Trinidad. I fortunately got through, and I went up there for 6 months. I mean, I do my own work, so I work for myself back then. So I had the freedom to do whatever I wanted, you know. So I went up, spent 6 months. That was like the best 6 months ever. It's like it's just you and studying martial arts. You get paid to study martial arts because it was a paid scholarship, you know. That was like the pinnacle. That was it there. It's like life. That's life. You know, you get paid to do what you love.
That was for 6 months.
Yeah, it's a 6 month diploma course. They taught us sports science, sports psychology, sports medicine, and ironically enough, our sports psychology instructor, who was supposed to teach us, professor, he had a nervous breakdown. So for 3 of those months, we didn't have sports psychology, so they had to fill it with anything else they could. Like it was like on the spot because it just happened to him, and then we were up there. We just came up. So we got sport diagnostic. So we got to go and see them, the national team. We were like opposite to the national arena where the national teams, well, some members of the national German teams train. It was the Olympic Center. And we got to go over there, see the testing, see all the different things they do to the athletes, you know, when they do their tests. And they come after they're done and they have to take blood, you know, to measure and make sure that they're not overtraining and all these things. Man, it's like scientific in Germany. It's like they manufacture athletes. They have a process and they just put people inside of it, and it just works. I mean, my only complaint about it, if I had to have a complaint, was that they specialize them too young. So that's why they like the Japanese. They have such a wide base that whatever rises to the top is like cream with a wide base of experience. So it's not so specialized. But the Germans, I mean, but it works. They analyze the athletes. You know, they watch videos. They have like archives of all the video, all the big tournaments. They record the fights like on paper. They taught us how to do it. Taught you how to measure performance. It's insane, insane. But it's worth it. It's worth it.
And then after Germany, you came back home to Trinidad. Yeah.
Yep. Just before. Sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Finish. Yeah. Just before I went up to Germany, I started my school, Muga Mushin Judo School, and then I went up to Germany. So I left one of my previous instructors, Sensei Linus Brown. I left him in charge of my club while I went up to do the studies, and I came back down. And like 2 months or 1 month after that, then I went up to do the CST certification with Scott.
So how did you find out about Scott Sonnen? Like, how did that happen?
Right.
You're in Trinidad and Tobago. You're in the middle of the Caribbean. When I found out, you know, I was like, where are you located? Oh, I'm in Trinidad and Tobago. And the only reason I knew where it was because I had somebody on my soccer team in high school, right? From Trinidad and Tobago. So I was like, nice. Oh, I remember where that is. But it's so random.
Yeah, well, it's not that random when you think about it. Rondell Benjamin, my friend back then, the one who goes away and comes back and we train for 2 weeks, you know, he used to do a lot of research. He does that. He's insane with that. He researches like crazy, right? So he did a lot of research. He found Scott back in the martial arts time of Scott, and he went up and trained with Scott. So we were training. And when he comes back, I teach him judo and he teaches me whatever he learned in BJJ. And then he brought out this like black metal bat, right? And I was like, what's that? You know, and he was like, hold it, you know, just feel it in your hands, you know. I was like, oh, this is cool. So then he showed me some exercises. He said, you can do this, you can do that. I was like, ooh, this is nice. I said, I like this because I never done weights.
Mm-hmm.
Only when I was forced to do weights on a national team that I used to do like weights, but I hated weights,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So I mean, judo and BJJ and all these things where we actually use our complete body all the time and we connect, you know, all of the kinetic chains when we do something. So our coordinative strength is so high, you know. So he gave it to me and I was playing with the club bell and I was like, this is cool. He's like, so you like that, right? I was like, yeah, that's cool. He said, what about we go and do a course away? You know, we were friends, right? He was like, yeah, I'll pay for you to go, you know? And I was like, all right, cool, no problem. So we went up. Oh, I got the shock of my life. I went up there because I was real strong. So playing around with the clubs was no problem. But then you meet Scott and they give you these exercises too. And I wake up the next day during the certification and I almost fell down. I was like, ooh, I was like, my legs. He's like, yeah, so now you feel it. The whole inside of my legs, you would think that the club bell only works your upper body because you're holding it in your hands and you're swinging it around. It looks upper body, right? After that first day of training, that was it. I was sold. I was like, all my inside of my legs hurting places I never feel hurting before. I'm an athlete. I don't feel this pain. It's like, and what's going on? And this is like when I was in my peak, you know? So it was like, it was insane. And the whole health first approach, this is what means a lot to me, you know? Because I want to train and I want to be able to train all the time. When you train too hard and you overtrain, your body breaks down. And I've been injured before, right? I was fighting a guy, he was over 200 pounds. And this is just inside our dojo. We had a small little dojo. I was fighting this guy and he tried to throw me, but there was a wall. Now, usually I don't resist a throw, right? If you throw me, fine, I'll go, no problem. But he threw me and like the wall was right there. And I was like, dude, I'm gonna go into the wall. So I blocked. So I blocked the throw, and then he went straight through my knee. So I got hurt, and I had to stay out for 6 months. And my instructor was like, after 2 months, I was hobbling back. I was able to walk around and get to hopscotching. Didn't have a crutch back then, but I hopped to class and I would go watch class for like 4 months. I'm watching class, and every time he's like, "You need to get back on the mat. We have tournaments coming." Whatever. I was like, "Doctor said 6 months. I'm all about health first. When this is healed, I'll be good, and then we'll go." So the whole health first approach of TACFIT helped me understand what I need to do and how I need to train my athletes. Because we overtrain them, they get too weak over there. When I was on the national team long time, we used to train like 7 days a week. I would get up in the morning, I would go to training 5:45 in the national stadium. We'd be there, we'd train, we'd run steps, all kind of crazy stuff. So we're doing the weights, which I didn't like, we're doing the steps, we're doing the sprints, all these different things. And when I go out into the international scene, these guys, I feel so weak. I was like, why am I so weak? I'm training hard. Every morning I go train, then I go to school, then I come back to train in the evening, then I go home and I sleep, and I wake up and I do it over again every day, and that's how we train. But we didn't have that science in the training before, that built-in recovery. He who recovers first, wins.
Yeah.
So we can break. It doesn't matter if your level is here. If we're recovering faster than you, when your level starts to go down, then we're on top and we're staying here because we know how to recover. So it's a whole different way of doing it, and especially when we get older, health first is the way it should be. We have guys in judo training 90 years old, in BJJ, all these guys training till they die.
Yeah.
And why is that? Because of the principles behind it. How we train with respect, we train to get each other better. And That's what it's about, constant. Yeah, only better is better, as Scott says, right? Only better is better. Anything that you do bad, yes, you get better in some things, but that bad is something going the other direction.
Yeah. Yeah, like you're talking about the overtraining. Like I know that back in the old school days, right? That was the way, right? You constantly
Correct.
overtrain, and like I think about going to Japan and like everybody's constantly overtrained, right? Or in judo, or it's like that's the way, right? That's the way of life. But is that and now people are getting the coaches are getting smarter, right?
Correct.
Because of some of the science and this technology that we have. But Scott's been saying these things for forever, right? Before the
Yes.
science
Yes.
existed. Um, but I don't know. I always think about that, because there's something that you get from being tough, right? And going past going past your perceived limits, right? But at the same time, if you can mix in the TACFIT, that's kind of the magic formula, like how to recover. I don't know. Did anybody teach you how to recover? Like your coach sounds like he was amazing, right? It was the jiu-jitsu, your jiu-jitsu coach, Brazilian jiu-jitsu BJJ coach that took you to the CST
Yeah,
to the
Rondell, my
TACFIT.
friend. He was actually my friend.
Oh, your
So
friend.
we used to just coach each other, coach, because we weren't
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
certified
But he
coaches back
invested
then.
in you, and but like nobody taught us how to recover, right? Nobody taught us to release tension in the body, the breath, going down. Of course, you learn the breath and some things, but not as deep as Scott's brain goes, right down the rabbit hole. So I think you can push on the gas pedal, but at the same time, right, like that. I think that's the right way. Don't you agree? To
Yeah,
have
correct.
mix it in.
And once we just look at the three measurements that we use in TACFIT, you have your technique, you have your effort, and you have the discomfort. The
Mm.
discomfort is what's going to keep you from overdoing it. Once we need pressure and we need pain to grow.
Yeah,
That's the only way we get better. So we have to load ourselves enough to cause ourselves to go beyond our homeostasis. So once we go below, we push below, then super compensation happens, right? We have to come back up, but we have to know how to do it. If we keep pushing down, 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 we're gonna break.
yeah,
But just the way how it's delivered with the strain prevention, stress conversion, you know, just knowing how to do them. Funny story. My friend Rondell Benjamin, he had an injury as well at some point in time,
but he say
and
What's his name?
Rondell,
Rondell
yeah,
Benjamin.
Benjamin, yeah.
Mhm.
So he had an injury, and he went to the doctor, and the doctor said, "Well, you need to rest. This," and all Rondell did was the mobility drills from the Warrior Wellness back in the day. He did his Warrior Wellness. He did his
Interflow.
flows,
Hmm.
and then he went back to the doctor, and the doctor's like, he's like, "You're healing real fast." You say, "You're resting." He's like, "Yeah, well, he's doing a little, mobility and stuff." And he's like, "Well, whatever you're doing, you keep doing that," because he was healing up fast, and the doctor was perplexed. He's like, "Okay, yeah, whatever you're doing. I mean, I told you not to exercise, but you're not exercising. You're recovering, and you're recovering faster.
Hmm.
So he said, keep doing it, you know, and that's the why we're the smartest workouts in the world, right?
Yeah,
That's what it is. We
yeah,
understand recovery.
yeah, yeah. It's crazy, like that we go into the like somebody was making fun of us when we talk about TACFIT, like having a crush on a girl, right? Michelle was making fun of us, like it was me and you and Aaron, right? Talking, like just because we were talking about all the possibilities and things, right? Um,
Hmm.
but there's so many rabbit holes that you can go down in this training. And
Correct.
you've been acquiring, right, the knowledge and the download the RMAX, right? All the years you've been
Yeah,
download.
I mean, now is things are nice to become a coach. When
Mhm,
back then we had to write like 6 essays. When you
mhm.
finish your certification, you have to go home. You're not certified yet. Yes, you passed the physical test, but you have like 6 essays to write. And I mean, that forces you to go down the rabbit hole as a coach, and understand what is all about.
What
So
kind of essays did you have to write?
we had to write. It was There was something on tensegrity. There was that was like 2005, right? So this was back then. All I remember is the tensegrity part. There was something on tensegrity.
Yeah.
Oh, there was a selective tension.
Uh,
We had to write something on selective tension. It was like all like 1,500 word essays. I was like, oh, that's a bit, you know?
yeah. You had to really understand, huh? The
Yeah,
material
correct,
to be able
correct,
to write
correct.
an essay on it.
Yeah, I was looking to actually go recertify. This is probably in 2012 or 10 or something, because certification was valid for like 2 years back then. It was 2005 to 2007 was my certification,
Uh,
and they had one in Australia, and the
oh
one
wow.
in Australia, because it's so far, you know, you get the CST, you get into flow, well, body flow back then. You know, you get the club bell, you get everything. Well, CST is what the club bell, but yeah, you got all of those, and he actually did some workshops, some martial arts workshops along with it. You know, and I was like, that's the place where I need to go. But then I ended up going. That was way too much to go to Australia. It's like on the other side of the planet, you know.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah, but
you did a lot of big work. There were so many certified instructors there when I started to see the old instructor lists, like level 1 and level 2, TACFIT and so many coaches. So, but I think just, nobody went back or, for some time, but I know there's a lot of, gotta, we had Ben Exton, right? Working, but they see things coming back
yeah,
down.
we were a little dormant.
Yeah.
The whole TACFIT scene was a little dormant for a while. You know, but we still got the nuggets of pearl, you know. Nick
Yeah.
kept everything alive, you know.
Yeah. What kept you I remember we spoke about, you're like, oh, like, because there were so many changes, right? So many changes, but there were just changes, and you're in Trinidad and Tobago, like out of the scene. You did the TACFIT timer that everybody uses, but what made you appreciate, like, oh, they sent me an email. Nick was sending the emails, right? Still, like, okay, they're still
Yeah,
there.
yeah, those nuggets from Scott.
Mm-hmm.
That I look forward to that in my email, you know. I mean, I bought the book, Mountain Stance, Tale of Genius. I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, in that book has like his life lessons.
Mm.
You know, it's a wonderful book to read. I
I've
mean,
read it as well.
I started going through it, and I was like, you know, I need to like hand this book down to my son because so many lessons, you know. I mean, if I was a writer, I would write, but Scott could write, you know, and I like the stories that he put out, you know, and it just resonates. It just resonates. He comes from a place of, you know, of humility, and he gives you it straight from the heart, you know. He gives you freedom. He gives you trust to do. He teaches you what he can teach you, and I mean, it's up to you to make that flourish and bloom. You know, Scott likes to do his own thing. You know, he has what he likes to do, and you know, he just helps everyone. And that's I mean, that's what I like. That's what I like about Scott. He's there for you. I met him personally. We had dinner. I mean, that was just getting to know the guy himself, the man behind TACFIT, CST, all these things, you know. And I mean, I thought he was shorter. He was like tall. I was like, oh, it's like, you're tall, dude. I was like, yeah, I'm short. I am. You know, so I watched the pictures of Isak and I was like, wait, Isak looks really tall. And then Nestor is like, okay, maybe he's even taller. I
Giant.
mean,
Yeah.
the COVID has us all, you know, cooped up. Can't wait to just go out and meet, you know, meet the team, you know. We work so hard.
Yeah. Yeah. So what changes and stuff. What we talked to we started working together, and you know you, all of us, right? We feel like the same thing, like, this is like our legacy, right? That our contribution, right? The how do you say the mutual benefit? What's the term, or
Mutual benefit and prosperity.
yeah, right. I think that's the essence, right, of what we're doing,
Yeah,
also
the aim.
maximum efficiency, right? What's the
Maximum efficiency, minimum effort. That's the short way. So make maximum use of physical and mental energy.
So, it's kind of TACFIT right to the, right to the T, everything that we do. So, we're us talking like we were talking about TACFIT, like, like a girl we have a crush on, right? What would you like to see? What would you like to see with TACFIT? Why does it mean, why does it mean so much to you?
It means so much because it's a way to achieve the ultimate goal of helping people. Through TACFIT, we can help people. If we impart this knowledge on the general population, on athletes, on all these people, then we can all live better lives. We could see athletic performance jump just by understanding the things that is ingrained in TACFIT. Now, you don't have to study TACFIT to benefit because the essence is programmed in the programs. So by just following it and doing it, as you say, the mundane, as Scott says, you just do it, you do it, and you will feel better. There was a point in time I was almost 200 pounds. I'm like working, just doing stuff and not taking care of myself, just eating whatever, just life, just not thinking about my health. And I had to go from the dental office to the shop, which is like 3 blocks away, but I had to do it quickly. So I went there, and on my way back, I was running the whole way, right? On the way back, I was like, oh, this is not good. And then I was like, you know what? No. Then I realized how far I dropped, and I started to do TACFIT Commando, and I had to do the same thing another time. And then I went back and I was running back, and I passed the same spot where I was, out of breath. And then I was like, hey, that's the spot I was at, and I'm only like 2 months in to TACFIT Commando. I was like, well, yeah, I'm not even thinking about the reading all of the material. I'm just following along, just doing it. And you can feel the benefit. You can feel the benefit of life. And if we could take that and impart that onto as many people as we can, then the world could be a better place, in my opinion, at least for health. I mean, one of our guys, he's in the Coast Guard, Caleb Edwards. He trains judo as well, and he does BJJ as well. He's actually one of my 2 black belts that I have. He got COVID. And we were like, whoa, it's like, you got COVID. That's like a big thing, right? It's like the first guy in the Judo Association to get COVID. And he was like, this is just a cold, It's like, he trains like a beast, but intelligently, right? And he was like, it's not a problem. And that's the problem right now. We're so unhealthy, whether it be stress from work, stress from over exercising, all of these stresses on our mental health, that COVID could come and it could just wipe us out because we're not improving, so that's the thing. We can get everybody to understand what recovery is about and how to be better, and gradually start from where you are. I don't care where you are. Where you are is your journey. Where I am is my journey, and we just encourage each other, get better, and we live healthier lives, and that's the whole point. That's the whole point. You have a life. You need to enjoy it.
Right. If we don't have our health, right, what do we have?
We have misery.
Is it right? How important is our health?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Many people run down different things and run down their health. Then they realize when they're old, damn, I should take care of my health.
Yeah. Well, like my wife was like, "Oh, Trinidad and Tobago, like for us to have the summit. I'm looking forward for us to all get together, one of these days, right? When we're past the COVID era." but she's like, oh, why don't we go to Trinidad and Tobago? You know, it's in the Caribbean,
We
right?
will welcome you. Yeah, yeah. I got the backdrop for you. That's the northern
Yeah.
range in
You got the
Trinidad.
moon coming out. So if you have if you're looking at the video, you can see the moon coming up. And so what's a typical day in Trinidad and Tobago like? You know, you in the because I see buildings, I see, you know, there's city, right? There's city. So
Yeah, so it depends. So it's a twin island, right? So there's Trinidad and then there's Tobago. Trinidad is where you come for the business. It's like party central. When you have carnival, carnival is Trinidad, right? You want to have business, business is Trinidad. It's all a hustle, you know? Tobago, on the other hand, is where you kick back, the water is blue, it's nice. You know, you just go on, you just rock back. When you hit Tobago, it's just like time slows down, you know, the hustle slows, and it's just like almost like country life. You know, you just go and you relax, you can let a load off. You know, that's what Trinidad and Tobago is like. So it depends on what you do. Now I code all day, so I'm probably not the most qualified to tell you about what's out there. You know, but I was young and I did party, you know. So, but I love to code, you know. So yeah, Trinidad and Tobago is, you want party and you want action, come to Trinidad. Then you go to Tobago and you relax. You know, you come, you party, and then you go relax, and then you could go home, enjoying the warmth. Oh man, I saw y'all in Texas. No, 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 no.
1 degree Fahrenheit. What is it? -15 Celsius.
Oh, that's insane. I mean, I was in Switzerland and we were driving and the car said -20, but not the -20 or the -15 y'all had. That was insane. That was crazy. I was sending Isak pictures from here. I was like, yo, take some warmth, my friend. You know, take a shot of outside. Yeah, here you go. Here's some sunshine.
Are your parents have always been from Trinidad? What do you
Yes. Yes. Not my parents' parents, but my parents.
Where were your parents from?
Ooh, I'm like what we call Kalaloo, right? Kalaloo is like a mix-up.
Mix, yeah.
So I have, well, my name is Reinaldo Novoa. So I have Colombian roots. I have roots from India. I have roots, some Irish roots. And what was the last one? No, wait, no, that's Irish. It's Irish one. Chinese. There we go. Yeah, just look at my eye when I smile, you know?
You got the whole world, basically.
Yeah, we have a nice mix in Trinidad. It's like, it doesn't matter. It's just a mix. There's no race down here. You know, we all just live. It's just like black, white, orange, yellow, green, whatever, you know. And that's the thing some people get shocked by when they come down. There's a mosque opposite a church, and everyone is happy. The mosques, when the mosque is not in, the church allow the church people to park there. When the mosque is running and the church is not in, they allow the mosque people to park there. You know, Muslims, Christians, everybody, you know, Hindus, everybody just live together. We have an understanding. This is all our culture, right? You can't go to school and not meet someone who's a Muslim or an Indian or Hindu, or Christian. You know, you meet everyone. So it's like growing up. There's no separation.
That's cool.
It's so small. What you gonna do? You're gonna fight your neighbor? Come now.
Your dad, you know, rest in peace. You know, like he passed, right? Like,
well, we don't know.
You're right.
I will always hold on. I was always, you know, hold on to hope because we found nothing. He went scuba diving. It was bad weather. The current was pulling real bad, and the boat guy lost his buoy. You know, he scuba dives deep. He goes down with a tank, and the buoy disappeared, and the boat guy couldn't find it. You know, and we haven't found any trace, nothing. The Coast Guard help us search. Private companies help us search with the helicopters. We search everywhere, and we have no sign. So I would like to believe He's probably in Venezuela, probably can't find his way around, has a name like Reinaldo Novoa and can't speak Spanish. So he's probably just quiet, like.
Do you guys speak English in Trinidad?
Yep, English only. Man, we have a lot of people who came from Venezuela now, so we're kind of, getting a little more Spanish inside the country. So that's much, but it's all English. It's all English, and we get put inside of Latin America, which means sometimes when we go to websites, they automatically say Spanish. I'm like, yo, speak Spanish. We speak English. Yeah, but it's only English, and we have our own little twang. I mean, I've been told I need to slow down when I speak, especially when I speak to Americans, because they won't understand me. But I hope you're understanding well. I'm hopefully trying to slow it down.
For sure. What did your dad do?
He did many things. He was retired. So first he was a nurse. He used to be in the health sector. He was a nurse. Then he went to be a medical rep, and he did mainly that since then. So he would work selling, going meet the doctors and showing his products to the doctors. He worked for Smith Robinson and Wyatt Ice. So that's what he did. But he always loved the sea, man. Always. Since he was like a kid, he's been scuba diving, like free diving without a tank, just a snorkel or just a mask actually. And those harpoon type things where you have a rubber and the spear and you hold it and you go down. I have pictures of him with that, So yeah, he was fun. He was fun. He always made sure, and he gave us what we needed. Encouraged us when we needed encouragement, especially in the martial arts, because that was his love. He was living through us. Seeing all his dreams come true. My brother, he started martial arts, but he didn't like it too much, and then he went over to like basketball and table tennis. And, we're just always active.
Nice. I always ask, what, like, I feel like TACFIT is connected to the martial arts, right? Do you feel that way too?
Yeah,
martial art,
Scott's roots are martial arts.
Yeah, but it's a martial art, right? But only,
it is. It is
no opponent, just with yourself, right?
That's the biggest opponent. That's the biggest opponent, the hardest one to deal with.
So, your dad's legacy, and you've been training since you were, 5, 6 years old. What are you most grateful for in all those years?
I am grateful for the pain in my life. Let's put it that way. Scott's mom told him, we always bring up Scott, right? But he's been so influential that she wished him enough pain to enjoy the joy in your life. Enough of everything. Because I was, for want of better word, I was ignorant. I lived a happy life. I had a real nice life. I had everything I needed. I had a loving family, everything was nice. And when you grow up nice and everything seems easy, because your parents are sacrificing for you, you don't understand certain things. And I used to read a lot of like self-help books. That's the only thing. The first book I read was Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. My father gave that to me, and that was the first book I read, and I like that kind of stuff. Stories. I like that. All right, I did the Hardy Boys thing. Those were cool, but just when you get pain in your life, you understand what people feel. So where I was going actually with the books was I did a lot of reading Anthony Robbins, and I used to tell people like happiness was a choice, and all these things. And to me, that was ignorant. Now that I felt pain, So knowing pain gives you more understanding of more people, and it helps you to be more compassionate. I used to tell people, happiness is a choice. I know you're going through something tough, and I'll be there for you. But just choose to be happy. It's like it's that easy. But then when you get real pain, then you understand. You understand what it is. So I had that pain in my life, and recovering from it opens your eyes. So for me, the pain in my life makes my life that much better. I got it later on in life, but by all means, if I didn't get it, I won't understand other people. And it's the experiences that make us in life. It really, really helps us to understand what life is about. And then we can, from a position of that type of pain, someone experiencing the same thing. I mean, that's not the same pain that you're experiencing, because everyone is different, right? But you could understand what they're going through, and then you would be in a better position to help that person. And helping people, I think, is the main thing. And how we do it now is through TACFIT, right?
Yeah, that's it. And martial arts, hopefully, once they get healthy.
Oh, hell yes. You see it? You see it? That's it. That's it.
Love it, judo t-shirts.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
the beautiful thing about TACFIT, right? Is not everybody can do judo or jiu-jitsu, but every single person can do TACFIT and get the same benefits that you get.
Correct. Because TACFIT comes from it doesn't have the martial arts stigma behind it, where some people think, oh, it's kick and punch and it's brutal. It's you're fighting. Oh my gosh, peace. But TACFIT is just you improving yourself with friends. That's it. And that's what more you want in life. Get better, have a good time with friends, help your friends get better, help other people get better. That's it. That's it. And the way TACFIT does it, it's like a martial art. Being a martial artist, you could see it straight away. So that's what I like.
Yeah. Well, thank you, man. Thank you for all the work that you've everything you've given to all of us. From over 10 years, 2011. So it's 10 years now, over a decade, with the contribution of the timer, but all the work that you did day in and day out, supporting us all. It's such an honor to work with you and to do this powerful work, right? That we're a part of.
Well, you are most welcome. And I do what I choose to do, because I haven't been employed by anyone else since 2003. So to do this is what I want to do. This is what I love to do. So thanks for taking the reins and bringing this whole thing back to life, because I didn't even know some of the things that happened. And then when I came back in, I was like, damn, we were going down. We needed this leadership. And I think that's what you bring. You bring us all together. We are a diverse group, I must say.
Right.
And that's the thing about a team, right? You don't have to agree all the time, because if you agree all the time, then what's the benefit, right? When you don't agree, you are there in the center, keeping us all together, saying, hey, yeah, this is what we're doing. This is how we're doing it. And everyone gets heard. And I just want to thank you from the team, the TACFIT team, for leading us in that way. Without that leadership, we'd just be all over the place, just doing our own thing as usual, like we were doing before. I have my timer, Ryan has firefighter. We're just doing our thing. Nick's taking care of everyone and sales. But bringing it together and giving us that direction is really accelerating our ability to help the world. That's what it's about, help that 1 billion.
That's it. Like Nestor says, right? Stronger together. And it's such an honor to be a part of this team, right? Everybody's working so hard, 7 days a week. I don't know. Some people, it seems like they don't sleep ever. It's just such an honor to be a part of this. You guys motivate me to just keep pushing and, to do this big work, right? That we're doing, changing people's lives with the system. So thank you, brother, for your friendship.
Yep. Thank you. Hopefully we meet soon. I'm waiting to roll on the mat.
Right on the mat. That's it.
I don't know you until we roll on the mat.
Right.
Awesome.
Right.
Oh, that'll be good times.
For sure. Looking forward to it.
Definitely.
Okay.
All right, Alberto. Bye.